In this video, I will explain about Agneepath scheme, its advantages, disadvantages, and government's perspective in implementing this scheme. So, what is Agneepath scheme? As of now, most of you must have known that 10 days before, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, along with chiefs of all three military forces, announced Agneepath scheme, which aims to transform the armed forces. Rajnath Singh said, under this scheme, Indian youngsters will be provided opportunity to serve in armed forces as Agniveers, and the Agneepath scheme brought to strengthen India's security, and our effort is to provide youthful profile to armed forces through rollout of Agneepath recruitment scheme. Agneepath is a pan-India merit-based recruitment scheme for enrolling soldiers, airmen, and sailors into the military forces. All those recruited under the Agneepath scheme will be called Agniveers. Let me be clear here that from now onwards, there will be no other recruitment program that will be carried out by defense forces to recruit soldiers, airmen, or sailors into the service. Only through Agneepath scheme, candidates can enter into defense forces. Yes, you can become an officer by giving other exams. After 4 years of service, only 25% of the Agniveer will be retained or re-enlisted in the regular cadre based on merit, willingness, and medical fitness, and he will then serve for a full term of another 15 years. Age limit for appliers will be between 17.5 to 21 years, and for the first batch, the age limit will be 17.5 to 23 years. Let us now discuss about advantages and disadvantages of this scheme. What are the benefits and what are the losses of Agneepath scheme? Let's first discuss the pros of this scheme for people who will be recruited under this scheme. Agneepath will get a good salary package starting from 4.76 lakh per annum, which is more than previous recruitments. Non-contributory life insurance of 48 lakhs, which is same for Agniveers as before. After the 4-year tenure is over, they will receive a 780 package of non-taxable 11 to 12 lakhs from government. And let me be clear here, 30% of your salary will be accumulated into 780 package. They will get a skill certificate and can also avail bank loans after the completion of their service. This scheme will be a huge benefit for lower class and lower middle class people who are in economically poor condition. Some soldiers regret after coming into this service because of tough lifestyle and less satisfaction in job. Some even left the service in between. But now you have a chance to happily live after 4 years with an amount of 11 to 12 lakhs in hand, and then you can choose the career you want. 10% quota in paramilitary forces for Agniveers after 4 years of service, which is announced by Home Minister. 10% quota in Ministry of Defense sector after 4 years of service as Agniveers, which is announced by Defense Minister. Some state governments have already announced that they will give preference to Agniveers in their state police after the service. Agniveers will get a skill certificate and a bachelor degree from IGNOU after completion of 4 years of service. Availability of well-disciplined and skilled youth with military ethos in civil society. The Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways announced that the inclusion of Agniveers in 6 service branches including Merchant Navy. Let us now discuss about the cons of or the disadvantage of Agneeveer scheme. After the 4 years of service, 75% of the recruited Agniveers will become unemployed again. So there is no job security as before. But there is another perspective to it. After 4 years of service, you may be unemployed again, but your resume will be stand out among others you are competing with, as you have a bachelor degree and also skill certificate with 4 years of experience. High chances are there that selected candidates will feel demotivated during their service and will think about their future prospect. Training of soldier cost around 40 to 50 lakh to the government. Before this scheme, soldiers serve for at least 15 years or more, but now onwards, government can utilize Agniveers for only 4 years. There is no pension or gratitude for Agniveers. No canteen facility after completion of 4 years of service. No medical facility for families of Agniveers. Agniveers can avail leave up to 30 days during these 4 years of service. Agneepath scheme will weaken military culture, professionalism, and combat spirit. Before this scheme, a person while fighting in border knew that his family will be secured even after his death. But now onwards, there is no security for Agniveer's family. Let's now try to understand government's point of view regarding this Agneepath scheme and what is the thought behind implementing this scheme. Other big nations like USA, China, and Russia have already planned to reduce the strength of their army and instead looking forward to modernize their army by investing more money in technology. Government spend a huge amount of this defense budget in giving pension to veteran soldiers. By Agneepath scheme, this burden will be reduced from the government. But in counter you can say, then why this scheme is not applied for officer entry? And moreover, why pension of MPs and MLAs are not removed in first place? Let them be the example first. Military forces now will be comprised of more youths. The current average age of soldier is 32 years. After 4 to 5 years of implementation of this Agneepath scheme, there will be more youth in military service. Let us now understand this scheme in broader perspective. Is it the government's responsibility to provide jobs for its citizens? The answer is no. Let me explain why. If the government controls the economy of the country entirely, then only government has the responsibility to provide job for every citizen, like it's happening in North Korea, China, and some other nations, mostly communist countries. But yes, it is the responsibility of the government to provide a good employment opportunity to its citizens through jobs created by government or through private jobs. If you look into data, then only you can know that average salary in private sector is 5.5 lakh, while in government job it is 2.5 lakh. But the biggest challenge is people don't get private jobs easily. To get a job in private sector, you have to have a good educational career, that also from a reputed institute. To be honest, most of us in India are not that much privileged to avail this kind of facilities. After 1991 liberation, government has not full control over the economy of the country. Yes, government rules are impacting the country's economy, but private sectors control it more. There are jobs in private sector, but these are not of good quality. So the first choice of people in India is government job. It is the responsibility of government to reform sectors like police, health, education, and railway. Most of these sectors are understaffed. The least the government can do is fill up all the vacancies in these sectors. But the harsh reality is now government is not in a good financial position to hire more employees. And that is why government is creating this type of short service scheme to avoid this unemployment situation and to provide job to as much candidate as possible. Lastly, all I can say is don't indulge in any kind of violent protest, or else you will never get a job at all. Hate this scheme or love this scheme. Reality is, due to higher unemployment rate and poverty, candidates are going to apply for this job in huge number. If you do not like this scheme, then try your luck to become an officer or to get another job in other sector. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Till then, I am Dear Barjana signing off. Namaskar.